Okay, y'all, before I start this video, let me just say that I did not know that this video was going to take the type of direction that it was going to take. So please, I'm trying to have a little fun with y'all. Like, ain't no way am I trying to make light of gun violence or anything like that. I'm the type of person that will literally laugh through my pain because I have exceeded all of those things and I have gotten through those things. And so I smile at my pain a lot of times too, so do not take this video the wrong way. I'm literally just trying to have some fun with y'all. And so we just gonna go ahead and hop into the video. Hello you all, welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, what's good? If you are new, hey boo, I am back with another video. So this topic randomly just popped in my head because I feel like maybe somebody may needed to hear this. Y'all see the title. These are signs that it's time for you to move, okay? We already talked about our purpose, you know, our journey with the Lord. And sometimes you may feel as though it's time for you to move around. And when I say move around, I mean actually move. When certain things serve their purpose in their life, certain people come into your life to serve one purpose. People, places, and things. And so we're talking about places. So the number one way you're going to know that it may be time for you to move when you feel as though you have served your purpose there. Like there's literally nothing there left for you to do. If you are feeling as though, I'm just going to give out some signs to let you know that you may need to leave a certain environment. And it don't necessarily have to mean like, when I say move, I don't mean like out of the state, out of the country or something like that. Like you may need to change locations. You may have to move to a different house, apartment building, or anything, you know? You might have lived at this place for so many years and now you feel as though you are getting this sense that you can find better, or you are feeling as though the Lord had something better for you as far as your living situation, then that's a sign that it is time for you to move. The Lord has said that you have served your purpose where you are at, and now it is time to go. And one of the ways you're going to know is when you feel as though it's stagnation. You know, stagnation can be just feeling like you just stuck somewhere. You know how you have been living in a certain place for so many years and you just feel like you stuck there, like literally you can't go nowhere. There's no movement. And when I say no movement, I mean that's here, like the environment, you know, everything around you seems to have no movement. It's the same as it was years and years and years ago. And this is another way to kind of let you know if you are seeing improvement in your life, like, but everything else around you is just still kind of the same, you know. We're going to talk about neighbors, and we are going to talk about jobs, just everywhere. You know, grocery stores can be something as simple as that to let you know that it's time for a change. You just ever had that feeling to where you just feel like, ugh, you know, that's another sign. When you just feel so much dread living in a certain place. Everything is energy, you know what I'm saying? Everything is spiritual. You know how you go to certain environments in certain places and you just feel like, oh my God, what just happened here? Like, why does it feel like it's a dark cloud? That's the number one way to let you know that it is time to move from a certain environment, is when you feel as though there's a dark cloud over that place, you know? This may mean that you may need to go to, you may feel as though you want to move to a different state. Like if you are the type of person that has a personality to where you just kind of like to have fun all the time, you are a sightseer, you like to see different things, new things, that may be saying that you may need to move. If you are a person that really just bubbly out there, just like seeing the world and seeing different scenery, seeing new different things, then this place may not be for you. A place that seems as though it has no movement, it's just stagnant. Like, say for instance, like if the way we gonna put weather into it. Like if you are in a place to where the weather is just, like I said, when it's like when you feel as though it's a dark cloud over the entire place, you know. The weather, another saying is if the weather is always bad, it's always cold, or it's always snowing, or if it's not snowing, then it's just dark clouds outside all day. And the only time you may get some good days is like every blue moon, and every time you have a good day, you just gotta bask in that in, because you don't know when the next time y'all gonna have some sun outside. Just a good day, because it's something about the weather that just kind of affects your mood too. Like if you are in an environment where you rarely ever get good weather, and when you do, you just basking it in that moment, then that's another way to let you know that it's time for you to move. Like If it's dark and cloudy every day, like it's bad enough that you got to deal with, like if it's raining all the time, if it's always if it's not snowing, or if it's not snowing or super cold, it's just depressing and just miserable looking outside. That's a strong sign that it's time for you to leave. You may need to move to Florida or Texas, you know, one of them sunshine states, you know. Being in an environment like that, it can really kill your spirit too. We talking about places, you know. We didn't get past reading spirits off of people. Now we are going to get into reading spirits off of places. And a lot of times, y'all already know I'm gonna go deep. A lot of times we're at certain places where you are living in a certain place where there's no movement and it seems as though the weather is just depressing. Like, it's because of the energy that is around that certain environment. Like, it may be a place where a lot of people is just miserable. You know what I'm saying? Transfer, like I said, transfer of energies. You living in a city or a town where everybody just, you know how you just feel like, oh my God, like, where's the happy faces? Like, why is no one smiling? Like, if you live in a city where everybody is always walking around with a straight face, or they always super serious, like they one of those type of people that this is another saying, where when you are living in an environment, we're gonna go into the people around you, life seem like it's stagnation, like there's no movement. The certain neighbors that you live around, they just seem like they ain't really had no movement with their life. They just doing the same thing they've been doing year after year after year after year. And if you don't see no movement in the people around you either, that's a strong sign that it's time for you to move. Especially if you feel like you are creative, you got all these ideas, and you know the Lord is making way for you. Like, when the Lord says it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go. Okay? It's time for you to leave. You have served your purpose. That is the main way you are going to know that it's time for you to go. When you feel as though you have served your purpose, like there's literally nothing else here in this environment for me. If you always feeling like, dang, I want to move. I just really want to move. Like, if everything seems to irritate you about your environment, that's another way to let you know. Because, like I said, it's depressing and it's gloomy outside. Then you're dealing with toxic neighbors. They may have a whole bunch of drama and stuff going on. Or it can be something as simple as, like, the clerk at the grocery store may have a nasty attitude. And this the neighborhood grocery store that you go to all the time. And the same people been working there, they got nasty attitudes. Just everywhere you seem to go, everybody just seems to be real cold. If they don't have a nasty attitude, they have a they may have a spirit to where they just kind of close. They may be giving off this energy where they kind of closed off to you. You know, they don't want to. It seems as though they don't really want to get to know people. You know how you come across some people when they come up to you and start a conversation with you. Like, if you are a friendly, bubbly person, you may be the certain type of person that walk up to people and want to start a conversation. And the people that you come across seem to just have this cold, closed off energy. That's another way to let you know that it's time for you to move from a certain environment. We're gonna go back to the people. Like I said, your neighbors, just the people in the environment, it always seems to be something going on. I talked briefly about this in my How to Cope with a Parent's Death video, where I said that your environment sets the tone with how your life will be as well. You know, that plays a big part in your productivity and the path you are trying to take with your life. So if you are around neighbors that's always like arguing and fighting all the time, and if you feel as though you really don't have nothing in common with these neighbors, then that's another sign to let you know that it's time for you to go. You feel like you can't even go to these neighbors for a cup of sugar or anything. You know, you got them neighbors that, you know how you got them neighbors just like overly friendly. They super friendly. They're there to help you in a time of need. I had a neighbor like this. He was very sweet. He ended up passing away. But if you around neighbors that couldn't even help you, they see, like, say for instance, your car stopped or something like that, and you don't have the right tools to get your car jump started and nothing like that, and they all leaving out for work, and they see that you need a car jump, and they just walking past you like, oh well, that's her problem, you know, just like I hate to laugh, y'all, that stuff funny, but yeah, if you around neighbors that seems as though they don't help you in a time of need, when they see that you're going through something, then that's another sign to let you know. Like, another way is, if it's an environment, like I told y'all, when I lived in Chicago, there is stagnation. Like, there was no movement, alcoholism, drug usage, gun violence, all that type of stuff. If you live in an environment like that, to where it's just become normalized, like, the number one way you are gonna know that it's time for you to go is when you feeling like you didn't get too comfortable in it. Like, if you get too comfortable in an environment that's really toxic, toxic environments is a number one saying to let you know that it is time for you to leave. When it's a whole bunch of alcoholics, people want to party, like I said, unproductivity, people don't have much going on with their lives. All they want to do is drink, party, smoke, just turn up all day. They always talking about turning up all the time, and they ain't really seem like they have much going on. Then that's a number one way that you need to probably move from out of that environment. Just gonna kind of just stay on the people in the environment when you feel as though, like, even the people at your apartment building, like, you may have, like I said, people's energy can affect the environment too. Like, when it's so much negativity going on, they kind of go off into, it's something about people's energy. It's just like transferring that energy off into the air. Like, it's something in the air. You know how, that saying where they say it feel like something is just in the air, like, why everybody seem mad, angry all the time? It's something in the air. That stuff is true. You don't really get too many people talk about this, but when it's negative energy on a whole lot of people, that stuff transfers over into the air, into the environment, and I believe it makes a huge effect on the weather as well. That's huge right there. Just the people around you, the weather, the everything, Another one is when it's just, when I lived in Chicago, the environment was just so toxic, like unsanitary, like a whole bunch of trash everywhere, liquor bottles, just when you living in a place and you don't see no construction workers or no street workers, city workers coming back to work on your environment to improve it, then that's another way to let you know that it's time for you to leave. You feel like the air is polluted. It's something about a clean, safe, healthy environment that makes the air better, the pollution better. It's a whole bunch of trash and stuff around you all the time. Like, that's just if you just feeling like you stick out like a sore thumb living in that environment, then that's another sign to let you know that it's time for you to move. Okay. I just wanted to talk about this because this has been really something that's been heavy on my man for a long time. If you feel, and some people move to certain places because of family too. People may want to be around it, be close to their family. That's why they live in certain environments. Almost as if it's something in the air that's just making everybody energy and spirits change, and you may have, if you living in a toxic environment, then 9 times out of 10 you may have a toxic family. And so, yeah, ain't no reason for you to stay around no toxic family now. You need to, like I said, move around. I'm trying to think of some more ways to let you know that it's time for you to go. I made a story time about this before. Like I said, it's a whole bunch of violence going on, fights, murders, just anything, and you just in the midst of that. If you continue to stay in a toxic environment like that, then you are eventually going to become a part of that. You can't stand in a pile of dirt and not expect for your feet to get dirty. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got shoes on your feet, if you are standing in a pile of dirt for too long, you are eventually going to get dirty. Watery mud for too long, eventually that's going to seep through your shoes. Okay? And another thing I forgot to add, y'all, was a lot of times why it may seem as though it's a dark cloud over a certain environment or a place is because 9 times out of 10 something bad has happened in a certain place where the energy and the dark cloud in the area, the energy is kind of low. Somebody might have been murdered there. Somebody might have been fighting there. Like, it just might have been just like a whole bunch of transferring of negative energy in that place. And those spirits and that energy just kind of settled there and stayed there. That's the same with your environment. Being around a whole bunch of unproductivity. You live in an environment where there's a whole bunch of liquor stores on every corner. There's drug addicts on every corner. You can't even walk down the street because you feel like you living in the same neighborhood as the people that's causing all the gun violence. You live on the same block as them. You can't even walk down the street safely because you feel like they might try to rob you, snatch your purse, or just anything. Like, if it seems as though you can't really have nothing nice because you feel like somebody gonna try to rob you or take it, then that's the main way to let you know that it is time for you to move. You can't even walk down the street. You feel like dudes harassing you, they catcalling you all the time. If the area you live in, you get catcalled all the time, the number one way that it's time for you to go. If you are a woman, that's a dangerous situation for you to be in, for real. Because like I said in previous videos, some men are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, very like overly emotional. You know, these dudes are crazy. They are not rap tight. It's a lot of violence against women, and the reason for that is because these women are in the wrong environment. You are going to get a number of warning signs to let you know that it is time for you to leave a certain environment. So that's something that you need to kind of pay attention to and take heed to. Like I said, the gun violence. Somebody just got murdered last week, and you feel like you can't even step out your house because you feel like you may be next. The whole entire environment is toxic. You can't even take your kids to the park because drug addicts, drug dealers, and alcoholics is hanging out at this park. You know, they done turned the park out and made it into a kicking spot. Just liquor store across the street from the park. That ain't no good combination. Like I said, things that just don't make sense. If your environment is set up to where things just don't kind of make sense, and you trying to figure out why that's there. Why is it a baby doll next to a liquor bottle? Why is it a play swing next to a crack pipe? You know, stuff like that. I just can go on for this type of stuff. Like, I know you probably listening to this laughing right now, but literally, your environment, if I'm describing anything in this video and that's your environment, that you know that it's time for you to leave. Like, you shouldn't be got too comfortable living in an environment like that, for real. You gonna end up blending right in with your environment and the people in it. Ain't nobody gonna be able to set you apart. It don't matter how much. And then that's another thing, you gonna have to kind of dumb yourself down a little bit, just kind of downgrade yourself and your lifestyle. Like I said, it's gonna make you feel unmotivated. You're not gonna feel creative and productive to do anything because of your environment. Like, if you feel like you want to make certain moves, and you can't even dress up because the people in the hood gonna be calling you all type of stuck up bees. Every time you step out the door, they gonna be like, who this bee thinks she is? You can't even dress up because people gonna think that you stuck up. You think you better than them because they coming outside with pajamas and bonnets on 24/7 all day. And they gonna be like, B, you live in the hood. Like, how you trying to act like you better than us? That's another way to let you know that it's time for you to leave a certain environment too. If you are a dude and you live in a hood, and like I said, you're trying to better yourself, you may have to get up early in the morning to go to college, and you kind of fearing for your life walking down the street. You walking past a dude that killed somebody last week. Police ain't caught him because he on the run. You gotta walk past him, and he steady calling you all type of lames and weirdos and trying to pick for a fight with you because you trying to better your life. You getting out of the house and doing something productive. You going to college every morning at 9 o'clock, and he's standing on the block serving. You know, that type of stuff. It's time for you to move. Like I said, you can't stay in that certain type of environment and prevail. It's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna have too many bumps and lumps along the way, and you want to alleviate that. He ain't doing nothing with his life. He just trying to pick and poke with you, and he ain't got out here and did what he needed to do with his life because he never had no good influences showing him what he needs to do. That's why he out here living a life of crime like that. You know, the police probably scared of him. That's another way to let you know that it's time for you to leave, when the police don't even bother looking for him because they already know they're gonna have a fight on their hands. You know, another sign is oh yeah, no, let me stop, my stomach's starting to hurt. I'm silly, y'all, don't mind me, but this is another one. When I lived in Chicago, oh, I can't get this out. Life's a trip, baby just turned 17 and finally got some hips. Oh yeah, don't unsubscribe, please. Let me stop playing with y'all. When I lived in the city, I used to always order food, right? This is another strong saying that it's time for you to leave a certain environment. When I used to order Italian Fiesta a lot, and so another way they would never bring my food to me. Like, I would literally be waiting hours. I would either be waiting hours and hours, like literally 4 or 5 hours for my food, or longer, or they just would not come at all. Like the This ain't funny, but then it is kind of like this crazy. The number one way you know you may need to leave a certain environment is when the food delivery person don't even want to come to your area because it's too dangerous. Like they scared they may not come back in one piece. They scared to deliver to your area. That's a strong saying to let you know that it is time for you to move. Like, y'all, I literally lived in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Chicago. Like, I literally would wake up to gunshots outside of my window, and that was my wake-up call right there that it was time for me to move. Living in them type of environments can really kill your productivity. Like, you are not going to feel like there's no reason to... It's just kind of like that sense where you are just existing. You're not living, you existing. You're not really able to live your best life and live it fully because of your environment and the people, you know? So yeah, that's just something to really think about. Some people don't want to live their city or their home because that's where they grew up. You know what I'm saying? That's, like I said, the comfortability. Comfortability a lot of times is part of your stagnation. You know, you're just comfortable there. You feel like there's no change. You know, people are scared of change. That's why they stay in certain places for so long. And stagnation is the number one way to spot a person that is afraid of change. When you see that there's no movement in your life, it seems like things just kind of just going around in circles and circles and circles when you feel as though you're not getting anywhere. That's another way to let you know that it is time for you to leave a certain environment. This I'm trying to talk about a number of ways and ways that you can spot this, because it's so many different types of toxic environments that I can name. Like, obviously the hood is a toxic environment, and at some point you should want to strive to leave there. Okay, some people been living in the hood their whole life. Okay, and you just got to call it how you see it. The person that's been living in the hood their entire life is still at the same place they was at years and years later. And these type of people that live in the hood forever, you see where they have advanced in their life, like they making money, you know, and stuff like that. But these are always the type of people that's always getting robbed. You know what I'm saying? Because they flashing. You know, when you get money, you get a certain point in your life, you want nicer things. And so these be the type of people that's always getting their nice things taken away from them because of the certain type of environment and people they are around, you know? So yeah, that's just something to think about. People just be afraid of change, you know? But sometimes that's the best thing for you. When you keep getting this intuition that it's time for you to leave. Like, I know I deserve something better. Like, if you picture yourself being in a place, you always keep on thinking about being in a place that's way different from where you're at now. That's another way to let you know that it's time for you to go. When you keep daydreaming about a certain place, that's a way to let you know. But yeah, I'm trying to think of some more. Like I said, I'm kind of jump back to certain toxic environments. Like, we already talked about the hood. They live in a certain area where it's racism, you know. That may be time that it's time for you to leave that certain area if it's a whole bunch of racism in that place. Like, if you are living around a predominantly different race than yourself, and you see yourself and other people like you getting treated unfairly, and you've been seeing this for years and years and years, and you know that that's not something that you're gonna keep tolerating. Like, if you stay in an environment like that, then it's just kind of like you just tolerating it, like you just basically getting used to it. So that ain't no type of treatment that you want to get used to. Like racism, we already know that racism ain't really going nowhere. You gonna basically see that everywhere. But if it's a higher capacity of it in your environment, then that's another way to let you know that it is time for you to leave that environment. Okay. So, like I said, it's just like being in an environment when you feel like it's a dark cloud, like everybody energy is low, you know? Another one is if you always seem to be feeling sick, or you notice the people around you is always sick. That could be another sign. So like I said, your environment, the air may be polluted wherever you at. Just everything around you can be a contributing factor to why you're always feeling sick. You're depressed from work. Your energy can't even be high because the weather is bad. Your neighbors, just everything around you. When you feel as though your energy is being drained all the time, and you're not really doing nothing for your energy to be drained. You know what I'm saying? You did your normal routine. Like, another way to let you know that you may need to move, or you need to change the scenery, is when you feel like your life is routined. You know, everything is the same thing every day, and life just seems blah, boring and bland, and you just, like I said, you feeling like you just dreading life, you know? You feel as though if you constantly feel like you're going through spiritual warfare all the time, you feel like something is draining your energy all the time. Like I'm saying, you're a happy-go-lucky person. If you trying to fight to stay positive, and almost as if that picture of that person that's standing in the middle of everybody and they just got a smile on their face and they got sunshine around them, and everybody around them is just dark and gray and frowns, and they angry, they crying, all this depressive energy around this one happy person. And like I said, you feeling like your energy is drained, like you at 1% and you just fighting for your happiness. Yeah, that's a strong sign that it may be time for you to leave your environment. You can't even be who you are because you feel like ain't no sense in doing all that, because the energy and the vibration is low around you. You can't even dress up and do certain things because the place where you live, people gonna be looking at you funny because you got your hair done, your makeup, your heels, your clothes, and everybody else around you looking at you crazy and all that. Like, what's she doing all that for? You know, it's just depressive energy from people is a strong sign that you need a change of scenery. And if you always, this another way, if you always going on vacation all the time to try to get away from your from where you live, that's a strong sign to let you know that it's time to go. Like, if you always booking a trip to go out of the country or out of town somewhere just to get away from where you live, like, that's a strong sign that it's time for you to go. Like, if you feel like the only time you living your best life is when you leave from where you at, there's something wrong with that. It's something wrong with that. When you feel like, and then when you go to a certain place and you feel like you have escaped prison, and then when it's time to come back, your energy is just low again. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I got to go back to this place. That's another one. But yeah, you're going to get a number of signs to let you know that it's time for you to leave a certain environment. And the Lord is going to give you a number of signs too to let you know that you have served your purpose here. There's nothing else left here for you. You keep getting that sign to keep telling you, you have served your purpose here. There's nothing left here for you. Leave. You have already served your purpose. Then leave. Put plan into action. Start looking at apartments. Start calling housing and apartment managers to set up apartment housing tours to wherever it is that you want to live. So start looking up these places where you are wanting to live. Put plan into action. You can't wait for God to do it all for you. You got to help the Lord help you. And so some research on the place that you would like to move to. Check the environment. Like I said, the weather. Make sure it's not a depressing place. I mean, if you're a happy-go-lucky person and you got this high positive energy, of course you wouldn't want to move to Alaska. Of course you wouldn't want to move to Antarctica or something like that. You know, you want to move to Cali, Florida, you know, Tennessee, Texas, those type of places where the energy is high because the weather is not too hot or it's not too cold. It's tolerable. But 9 times out of 10, if you live in an environment like that, you're going to run into a lot of people that have positive energy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that, some things to just think about. I feel like this video had to be for somebody. You know, you've been feeling like you stuck in a certain place and there's no movement. You know, you feel like you are advancing and it's time for you to go, basically. Okay, ain't no other way to word it. And so this is that confirmation video for you that it's time for you to go. You have served your purpose. Hopefully this video helped you. And I will talk to y'all in the next video.